faces, feel it sinking in slowly.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to More Trades. I'm looking at Bitcoin and I feel that, excuse me, this is the last chance that Bitcoin has. I mean, it could have a move up, but essentially this is a very critical point that it is in. That's why I named the video "Last Chance for Bitcoin." Of course, it may not doesn't have to be the last chance, but it's very critical for Bitcoin to move from here. Why do I think that? Uh, I'm gonna explain in a minute. Okay, looking at this structure, we came down in somewhat a corrective manner, so much of overlapping here. It looks like we want to continue higher. So yeah, if we are to continue higher, then Bitcoin will have to rotate now. But if Bitcoin starts coming down and starts, look at this critical point, what it did, it came right to the 0.887. If it went further, it would invalidate it. and would start coming lower. If we start breaking the 27,264, for starters, how you're going to look at this, if Bitcoin starts losing the value area high, which is the fixed range volume profile of this price action over here, if we start losing the value area high, then you are going to come to the POC. You lose the 28.6, you are going to come to the 28k. You lose the 28k, you're coming to the 26.9, and if you come to 26.9, I would expect a liquidity run where we come below this wick, even lower than this wick, and come up. Now when we come up, are we gonna start moving upwards, or are we gonna just come up into the POC or even just the value area low and break down? Now if Bitcoin wants to move today, or if it's going to move today, see, it's Friday, it's the end of the trading week. Usually on the end of the trading week we do have a liquidity run. A lot of times we have taking profits, so the move was to the upside, so it will only make sense that if they're going to take profit, they're going to move it down today. And if you break this low, so you break this low, and if you break this low and you break this low, it only makes sense that you're coming here or even lower. Would I enter short? I entered a short yesterday. Not the best level ever, but I noticed that I've been rejecting this POC, and if you've been watching my videos lately, I've been highlighting these levels. POC has been rejected several times, and if we draw a trend line from the top over here to the bottom, there's your resistance turned into support. So there might be a chance for Bitcoin to move higher. It needs to hold this trend line, and you could also draw another trend line from this lower part, this wick, and bring it up, but that's not a good trend. It's very steep, easy to break. But yeah, this is your support. At the moment, you don't want Bitcoin to break the 29.2. You break the 29.2, then you have a problem. Break substantially, not just wick. If you start breaking and closing below it, then you're kind of shifting. You're breaking into this triangle. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was looking at a triangle to break to the upside just before we got this. If you watched the video on that day, we had a triangle here. We came down, came up, and then I was looking at some A, B, C, D, E. I can't remember whether was it this triangle. I was saying it looks like A, B, C, D, E, or was it A down, B up, C down, D up, E down, and a breakout. I think that's what I was looking at, but I'm not sure if it was starting from here, this triangle, or was it this triangle, and we got a breakout. Triangles usually happen in wave 4 of an impulse, wave 4 in an Elliott wave, and also in a wave B in an Elliott wave. So when you see a triangle, you know that you're either in a wave B or in a wave 4, a valid triangle, not an invalid triangle. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was my triangle. And I was looking at the RSI and saying the RSI doesn't have a triangle, so maybe this triangle is invalid. Let's see if it will break to the upside or to the downside. And we broke to the upside, and the measured move of that triangle, I was measuring it out, and we had a measured move actually to the red line over here, and we exceeded the measured move somewhat. Or if you take it from this wick over here, you would see that you are, but what I don't like about this wick is that the bottom of the triangle would be from here. So essentially you'd have this measured move. It's some sort of a pennant, not a triangle anymore. And your target is 30,142. So we haven't reached the target of this pennant that comes from here to there. So that could be a target to the upside. If you start going up, then Bitcoin needs to hold or continue higher. Because if Bitcoin doesn't continue higher, there's a big chance of it going much, much lower. Now, if Bitcoin stops over here, this is the high, then we could look at our targets to the downside. We're going in a correction to the downside in a big wave 2. And that correction is an A, B, and a C or WXY. That could take you to 26,000 or even 23,456. So you have big targets over here. If you start losing these levels, you know that you're coming down. Let's put the 1.272 as well. You know that you're coming down because essentially you have an impulse move up. If you're gonna go up, then you need to look at it that it's gonna come down and correct. It can't go up forever, it needs to retrace. We are assuming, okay, that we had a 1, 2, and now we had a big 1 and another 2. And if you have a big 1 and 2, you take it from the bottom of the 1 to the top, and your target is anywhere between the 0.618 and the 0.78, 0.618 and 0.786 for the wave 2. Now I'll remove these and we can mark it out as zones. 26K is on its own. So we have this zone 25 to 23.5. This zone is gonna be a next zone if Bitcoin comes in. So for a holder, you're looking where to buy. You look at these levels and you buy gradually, you don't go all in. 0.786 at 22K, it's very critical because once you violate the 0.786 in a wave 2, it's no longer wave 2, you're going for something else most of the time. Though the wave 2 can retrace 90% of wave 1. Let's go into some indicators. MACD on the 4 hourly. Kind of weak. We're losing momentum a bit in the 4 hourly. On the 1 hourly, we are crossing down. Nothing dramatic yet. On the daily, we are still a bit bullish on the daily. Let's look at the higher time frames. MACD on the weekly. How is it looking? Our bars are slightly fading out, but we're still pointing up. So things are looking good for Bitcoin. Let's look at our volatility indicators. Things that indicate volatility. ATR on the hourly. That's where I like to look at it. Oh, it's cooling off pretty quick. This was the 27th yesterday, and we're cooling very quick. Once we get down to these regions, you like to see it at the 100 range, 150, 140. You could go back in the chart and mark the zones and see where, when volatility was at this level, how much of a move did we have. It doesn't always work out, but it gives you an indication of what to expect next. I mean, we could still have a crazy move when volatility is at 247. But I like to see volatility going lower, as well as I like to look at what I call the caterpillar. RSVVB, because it looks like a caterpillar. There you go. And I look at the width of this caterpillar. I like to see it contracted, and when I measure it out, I like to see it measuring at about 1 point something percent, not more than that. This is very much expanded, 7%. Now if you measure it here, when we got the move, we were expanded 4%, and we still were able to have another insane move that took us all the way down 9%. So not necessarily, but once you see this contracting and you see ATR going lower, then you know. Look at that. This is what you like to see. Very, very tight contraction. Look at that. 1.3%, 1.4. Then you have the explosive moves. And if you look at ATR here, probably it was also so low. You would expect a volatile move. Now you would say, hey, okay, I'm expecting a volatile move over here. Just let me put a line over here. I'm expecting a volatile move over here. What direction am I going to go to? Okay, this is the line. I'm going to bring my EMAs. Let's look. Volatile move. I had a green candle, red candle, and I was breaking down from the 50 EMA. So my bet is that we could, higher probability would be breaking down. We are in the highs. We had one attempt of the high, and we had one attempt, two attempt, three attempts. That's like a head and shoulders. So even if you're trading head and shoulders pattern, that's your neckline, your breakout, and all that. So it wasn't a difficult trade to take. You can't know for sure, but you saw volatility very tight contracting, and you know you're at the highs and you're trying to go up, but look at the wicks. You're not going anywhere. So you would take the short based on being at the value area high. You are not showing momentum to the upside. Volatility is very low on the Caterpillar, and you're breaking down to the 50 EMA. Even if you entered after this big candle and wait for a bit of a pullback into the 50 EMA slightly, you could get the other move down and you could ride it down. Algorand is a coin I was looking at yesterday. It looked like an amazing buy. I wanted to buy it. I went long. I mean, I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to long it. But I'm telling you, I think high probability, because if Algorand loses a 0.18, we are coming down deep, my friends. Deep, deep, deep. So it is on critical support. We could come as low as a 0.116. It will only make sense that you are going there because you have a lot of liquidity. And let me put liquidations. You have a vector candle zone over there, and you might see a lot of liquidity over here. Okay, I'm not getting it to load over here. Something wrong with the indicator. But yeah. Now, is it long? Is it short? You are below the 50 EMA on the 4-hourly. Let's go to smaller time frames. 15 minute. You're struggling to get up there. 1 hour. Are we even above the 50 on the 5 minute? Probably on the 5 minute. Even in the 5 minute, we're kind of struggling to keep the 200. We're breaking below. So anyways, I went long and I got stopped out somewhere here. My stops were somewhere here. It was on this wick, that crazy wick yesterday. But yeah, I was looking at this and saying this is a high potential trade. If you watch my playlist, Trading for Beginners or Finding Tradable Assets, you would know that I look for coins sometimes that are extended in the opposite direction than the other coins. So if Bitcoin's pumping and this coin is dumping, or it's just if Bitcoin's pumping and the coin is still just holding, then I would assume that eventually when Bitcoin stops pumping, this coin is going to pump, so I can try and take an aggressive long. But when everything is holding or everything's pumping and a coin is doing totally the opposite, say dumping, then I would look for a long. Or if the coin is at its lowest point, I mean, look at this. The data that I have on this, on Binance, shows me the lowest this coin has ever been is not so far away. 0.1596. This is the lowest for Algorand. So if Algorand comes and tap this, and you're feeling like you could take it, I have these zones. I didn't know that I did TA. Look at that. This is very old. Because this possible wave 4.5, possible sell wave 5 1 to 1, possible sell wave 5 1.618. This must have been very old. I can tell when I did it because I had this line drawn over here, so these candles were already here. Or was it before the breakdown? Wow, this was back here. This could have been before it broke down. I was looking at this to break down in a wave 3 possible. The wave 3 would break down, continue lower, and then I was looking for a bounce to hit this zone. Yeah, I was looking at this over here. This was on the 17th of November. I didn't go short, I didn't do anything with this, but why was I thinking this is a wave 4? There you go. I was looking at this as a trend to the upside. Yep. Algo is at 0.25. And I thought this move down is over. And this, looking back, now it looks like nothing, but at that time it looked very impulsive. Algorand moved from 0.2359 all the way to 0.3123, and I was looking at this as a possible 1, 2, 3, and coming in the 4, and we're going to hold, and then we're going to bounce up in a wave 5. So my wave 4, 0.55, you see the square over here matches the 0.5. I was looking at that, and I was looking at targets. Wave 1, it's a bit off, but yeah, those are my targets. I was looking at, possibly I was looking at the wave in a different way, different wave count, but yeah, I was expecting a rotation to the upside. Now I still think that Algorand could rotate to the upside since we are very at the lows. We might have a bounce at least. This is a pattern, this is the shape I always talk about, but it's been deformed over here. It looks like we might form double bottom, triple bottom, one bottom, and the next leg would be here. But this insufficiency will be filled. This candle. That means Algorand can come all the way to 0.22, 0.2194, very possible. That would be a move of 20%. Nice, with 5% leverage, that's 100. Tesla is a big player in all this madness because it's a tech stock and Bitcoin follows tech. Tesla looks like it's done its double top, and if it plays out the measured move of this double top, if you just take the line and measure it, it's important to know what are these doing to know what to expect from Bitcoin next. Yeah, Tesla could come down to the 120. It won't happen today, but it could happen today, because if you look at the price action recently on Tesla, in one day it could go down from this red candle. This red candle moved to 5.67%. So say we drop today 5.67% from where we are, it would just basically to just recover this candle again. But a move down from here all the way here That's another 25%. That would be so crazy. Tesla, XRP. Actually, let's look at Solana. Solana came all the way up. This is on the daily. Let's go on the hourly. Came all the way up to the $22 zone and got rejected yesterday. Okay, we are above the value area high of this zone on the hourly, so that's not bad. But if you go to the bigger value area, look at that, the fixed range volume profile, perfectly rejecting at the value area high. You had one day and a second day, basically rejecting from 22,837. Is this a good short? Yeah, if I was watching it when it happened, I would have entered short, maybe. Trade it possibly to the POC of this small range, or even bet that it's going to go all the way down here, $13. That would be a while before that happens. We could range here for a long time. And remember, the weekend's coming up. Unfortunately, Solana didn't break out of this range. We might still chop. We've been in this range on Solana. It's sickening. It's making me sick. 15th of January, we're in April. This is 4 months, more than 4 months. We're getting into May. It's crazy. Let's count it in days and see how many days has it been. Ever since we got in with this big candle in, you would think you're going to break out, and we're stuck here for 104 days. This candle looked very promising, and I was saying that we need to get above the 25, and then we could see the 32 to 35 range. And we've been stuck in here for months now. That's disgusting. I think Litecoin and Quant might look the same. Let's go to Quant. Quant, again, levels are the same. Same thing. We've been sort of in a range. If you want to count it from here, between the 147, actually I'll count it from here, smaller range, 130 down to the 112, 16, 106. This was $71 days, more than 2 months. And if you want to count this entire range, we've been down here, it's since November 2022. But there you go. We came all the way up. Bull run is starting. Everyone expects a bull run. Then we have this big pullback. And if we break into this descending channel, it's bearish. We should hold it at support. As you see, we bounced off it. But let's look how far we had a 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So we had a 1 that started here, a 2 that pulled back to the 0.786, lovely. And then we go and take our trend-based fib and look at that. 1 to the upside, 2 down. Our 3 came very close to the 1.618, and then we would expect our 4 only to retrace 0.5, but we went very low, 0.887. So maybe this isn't a wave 4. Maybe this is A, B, and C. So let's look how much did we retrace down from this low to the high. We've retraced 0.786, so it could be a big 1, 2, which looks strange over here. I count our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a 1, and then we pull back in some sort of a 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th, and completes wave 1, and then we have a second wave coming down, maybe. And if it's a second wave, we came to the 0.786. You could say we had A, B, and C in an A, and then we moved in a small B. And now we're moving down in the C, and the C for Quant could take you down. It could come as low as 77, 99, and 77. Very big range. The C wave can go even to the 1.618, $42 on Quant. Yeah, you heard it in this channel first. It could happen. And when it happens, you remember. If it doesn't and we rotate from here, it's fine. but we've been stuck in this range. And let's look at volume all along. Yeah, we have a spike of volume, but that's bearish volume. That's on the daily. On the 4 hourly, volume is next to nothing. Let's look at the CVD. What is the CVD trying to do? What is the market? What are the market participants trying to do? Get rid of the ATR. Okay. Quant has been forming higher highs on CVD, but the market is essentially forming, it's kind of formed higher highs, but it's failing to rotate to the upside. Look at that. Doesn't look so good. That's on the 4 hourly. So majority of people are trying to buy to go long, but the market is holding it down at this 114, and probably it's a point of control or value area. Let's pull a fixed range volume profile on this and see where we exactly on quant. Value area low, yeah, value area low. POC is right over here. If you're interested, your point of control would be here, 121 as resistance POC. So your next level, if you're able to get the 114, is a 121, 121, and if you're able to claim that, then you have value area high, which I have a level above that, 131, and these are my other targets, 152 and 147. To the downside, 101 is my target for a long time. We hit it over here, well, 99, 101, and I have these other targets down here. Ethereum is going to go back to the 2000 range. Maybe we have a quick run up today to reclaim this drop that we had on Wednesday. We might have a run up all the way up 2130. How would it look on Bitcoin if we had a run up today? Bitcoin has had his run up. Look, we almost recovered the whole thing. The drop from Tuesday, Wednesday. Ethereum hasn't done that, which tells me Bitcoin is dominating ETH at the moment. Ethereum hasn't done that yet. One more thing I want to highlight is we need to look at the BTC dominance chart. When you look at Bitcoin's dominance chart, you can see that Bitcoin, let's go here, not many people, not many retail traders are looking at this. Analysts are looking, but the traders aren't. We are at very critical levels. Yeah, I know I see it a lot, critical, because everything is critical at the moment. Now we are at a very important level. That's your level, 48.9. BTC dominance goes up, altcoins will dump. But I need to tell you, whenever BTC dominance would get into this range, we get a pullback from BTC dominance, and it does something like this. We come up, we hit this range, and we start going down. And that is your altcoin pump. Once BTC dominance hits resistance, start coming down, that's when essentially people are looking to buy alts when BTC dominance is at resistance. It's an inverse relation with the altcoins. And if you go to ETH BTC, let's go to ETH BTC, you will notice that ETH BTC is up, is down. ETH BTC should be down because Bitcoin dominance is up. Where's my ETH BTC chart? So many of these over here, so many ticker symbols. Some I've traded, some I haven't, some I've done live on the stream. ETH BTC chart, let's look at ETH BTC. Yeah, ETH BTC is down, that's on the weekly, telling you that the Bitcoin dominance is up. Ethereum Classic, I haven't looked at it in a while. It's been respecting levels, comes up, gets rejected. Imagine Ethereum Classic is at the same price as Solana. Well, to be fair, at some point Solana was more expensive than Ethereum Classic. Euro, what is the euro doing today? On the hourly, let's look at the hourly. The euro has a very red day today, which makes me want to look at the news. Bank of Japan outlook report. I'll just take a quick look. Japan's economy is likely to recover moderate toward around the middle of fiscal 2023, supported by factors. So Japan economy is going to recover. Maintains a short-term interest rate target at minus negative 0.1. Basically, they're trying to maintain the economy, but they're saying that the economy will look better this fiscal year. Although it's expected to be under downward pressure stemming from past high commodity prices and a slowdown in the pace of recovery in overseas economy. So the overseas economy are affecting Japanese yen. Thereafter, as a virtuous cycle from income to spending gradually intensified, Japan's economy is projected to continue growing at a pace about its potential growth rate. The pace of growth is highly likely to decelerate gradually toward the end of projection year. So, looking at that, it seems that Japan are having a problem, and the way they can solve that problem is by I think bringing the Japanese yen down to help their economy and make people want to trade more with them, because when the Japanese yen is high, it's harder. They need to dump the Japanese yen, so it's weaker in front of the dollar, and it can be attractive for investors. Unemployment rate is higher than expected, so is that good for the Japanese yen? Is bad for the currency. Anything for the euro today? GDP as forecasted. French consumer spending came out less, which is bad for the currency. So people are spending less in France. German CPI, prelims CPI, actual greater, it came out lower than forecasted, so that's bad for the euro. So more than one thing is bad for the euro today. Canadian GDP, actual greater than forecast, is good for currency, hasn't come out. If this GDP comes out good for the Canadian dollar, that means probably oil prices are also going up, and USD CAD will be tanking. Will be going up. USD will be weaker in front of the Canadian dollar. Nothing much over here in the news, but for some reason the euro has taken a step down today. How much was that move? Almost 1% down for the day. Looks like an inside day. Look, you haven't broken yesterday's high or low or the days before. GBP USD, same thing. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. What happened to this? Why is it moving or trading? It opens with the market. Phantom token. Look at that. Look at that move. I think Phantom's a beast. Look at that curvature, it's recovery. Are we gonna do it again and recover and go further up? This is on the daily. Let me go on the 4-hourly. Can I see any patterns? Can we see any shapes? Let's look at our EMAs. We're below the EMAs. This would be a short entry. Come, retrace to the 50, rejected, you come back short. Phantom can rotate and go up to 0.45, just as Bitcoin can do that. Let's go on the hourly. Hourly, we're trying to pump. We're holding a higher low, but we're below the 50, 15 minute. What's up, Jafar? There was some EMA up there. Where are you talking about, Jafar? FTM, EMA. Are you talking about the 800? Are you talking about the 800 EMA on the 15-minute time frame? Because yeah, that would be our next point of interest if we're pumping up. And actually this move is what I always talk about weekly. Okay, this move is always what I talk about, Jafar. I always say that when we have a quick move down, we usually come up at least 50%. It could be like this, and then we have a full recovery. We could still do that today. Weekly EMA. We're struggling at the 50 weekly EMA over here. That's my next point of important resistance for Phantom. If you missed it, Jafar, earlier I was saying Algorand. Algorand looks very interesting to me, but I entered a trade and I got bitten and I lost some small amount. Stop loss was hit, but essentially you are at the lows of Algorand. So I would say for holders, not a bad time to buy Algorand. On this chart, I don't know if there are other charts that have more data, but this chart gives me data up till the 15th of June, the week of 15th of June. But the lows are very close by, the ultimate lows for Algorand. It's just like 3 cents away or less. I wanted to long it. I did long it, but I got stopped out. And I had some targets over here from previous TA that I've done probably months ago. I can see that I drew a line here and I was looking at it and I just realized that I did some TA over here on Algorand. It was somewhere over here. Yeah, that was my line. It was somewhere around here. It would be here. So 20th of November, I drew a line and unfortunately it was a bear flag and it broke down. Sure, I'll post it in the group. I mean, it's a good chart to look at, Algorand, but unfortunately it could spike down. It's not showing any strength towards the upside. If you look at it, we're failing at the 50 EMA, even on the 15 minute, but we are getting a vector over here. Stopping volume candle, higher low. We may have a pump, and if, as I said, Bitcoin dominance, BTC dominance is at its weekly highs. So BTC dominance, if Bitcoin dominance is up at its highs, it could get rejected, and when it gets rejected, it will come down, and that will cause the altcoins to go crazy. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Yeah, so as I was saying, BTC dominance at its highs, and we could expect a move down on BTC dominance. Jafar, how's it going, man? How are you doing? Yeah, Eid was good, bro. I wish you all the best in finding work. It must be difficult at the moment to find jobs over there. Did you try looking other places around? Any new companies opening anywhere around? I mean, Saudi Arabia is expanding. They have a lot of things happening in Saudi Arabia. They might have some openings or vacancies around there. And to my understanding, it's the living conditions are much better there than they used to be. Yeah, all the best, all the best. Middle East not showing much results. I'd find it strange that you wouldn't find many jobs in your field, say in the UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or even Saudi Arabia with this expansion now. Also, another thing to look into is airlines. Maybe there are departments in airlines that could use that, probably in marketing or sales. I'm not sure if it would be in sales, but in e-marketing possibly. LinkedIn, okay. Yeah, I know that Saudi Arabia are having a new airline opening. It's called Riyadh Air, and they're having a lot of jobs being put out there online on their website, Riyadh Air, and you could find a lot of jobs. I don't know if I don't know if they have any. I'm not sure exactly of your field, but I'm not sure if they have anything got to do with design and IT. But it's worth to take a look. You never know, especially in these new emerging companies. Sometimes it's just a good choice to try. The VIX, the VIX, the VIX. The markets are not opened yet, but once the markets open, we'll see some interesting news. 3:30, we're expecting core PCE. That's in 14 minutes. If actual is greater than forecast, that's good for currency. Forecast is 0.3. Employment cost in the change in the price. Businesses and government pay for civilian labor. Actual greater than is good for currency. So we have two numbers. If actual is greater than forecast, that will pump the dollar and dump the markets. And we also have the CAD. So if CAD gets impacted, the Canadian dollar, you'd expect the USD CAD pair, US dollar to go higher. That could maybe have an effect on the DXY, but the DXY doesn't include the CAD in it. Going back to the chart, a coin that I've never looked at. Maybe I've looked at it once. I don't own any of it. I was taking profits from it in the bull market until I finished it. That's XRP. XRP. XRP, what a treacherous wick over here yesterday. I won't forget this wick. Now XRP, maybe it's above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. Oh, beautiful. XRP is above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. We have a vector candle over here. We tried to break lower, but we stopped. Now we're struggling at the 800. But I believe we might have a run up in XRP. Next zone of interest would be here. You could mark this off. 0.4921. And the zone that's following would be down here. 0.5. So we could have a run up. XRP. Wow. From the lows of June 22 to the wick that we recently had here, 103%. Beautiful. But it looks very three-wave-ish. Okay, maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's hard to see. This is a weekly time frame, by the way. And then you have a pullback in a three-wave, where it looks like also like a 5-wave in the weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. One-to-one was hit and rejected. Let's go on the daily. Bottom of the range, rejection at the top, came back to the bottom, rejection again, obviously overshot it, but rejection again, and mid of the range, almost perfect bounce. You could almost draw an ascending wedge from here. Ascending wedge is a bearish pattern. That's XRP. What am I looking at? If XRP comes here and hits it and gets rejected, it could come down again to these levels. 0.3859. Fixed range volume profile. We're above the value area high. We have an insufficiency here. If we can get above this, we could go all the way up to 0.59. But that's for XRP. We are in a rising wedge within a horizontal range. This range that we're in, what we're bumping our head was previously very strong support. Look at that. These are daily candles, mind you. 2 daily candles, 2 daily, 2 daily. So we do struggle at this zone. Look at this zone over here. Over here we broke through it, but we came back into it. We got pulled back into it so strongly. Let's look at BTC. BTC just chilling over here on the trend line. Not doing much, it's just chilling on the trend line. BTC chilling on the trend line. And we do have an insufficiency here all the way to 28.8. Oh, okay, we are above it. Over here we sort of have some. Now we're bumping our head on the 29.373. We have a volume spike over here. If we can break the 29.463, there's a slight gap to 29.744. I want BTC to come back to 28.8 at least. We need to see the proof that it will move up. We're still struggling below the 50 EMA on the 15-minute. 5-minute we might be getting up. Looks like we're getting a big candle. There we go. This is a run up. This is before the news comes out. The forecast is the same as last time. This is slightly higher than last time. So essentially it should be good for the currency. But let's see the numbers. Let's see. Crypto fear and greed. Again, people are getting greedy. This is 28th of April, 64. 56, 63 on the 19th of April. 19th of April. What did Bitcoin do on the 19th of April? We were at we were at greed. This is a 5-minute chart. 19th of April, wow. 19th of April was Bitcoin up here. $30,500. We got dumped all the way to 27. So the fear and greed index at the moment, though we haven't reached those highs, we are even greedier than before. We are at 64. 19th of April, greed was at 63. 17th, greed was at 69. 17th of April, we were dumping. Greed was at 69. It won't tell you. Oh, I see you disappeared for a while. Okay, I'm glad you reconnected. It won't tell you, the fear and greed won't tell you where you're going, but looking at market sentiment, whenever the market is at extreme points, then you know that the market needs to reset. And you know that something's going to happen soon. Now let's go into 1 month. Yeah, so basically yesterday was 59. And yes, it will update every daily candle. So yesterday was 59. When we were here, we got this pump. People got overly bullish when we got this pump. And if you watched my stream yesterday, I really mentioned this pattern. We could do this. I mentioned this and it happened. I was even talking about the S&P 500. Well, my TA was erased. We were somewhere here, and I literally drew this and I said we could do this. Recover this area by going this way, and the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones all played out. So if I was taking all those trades, I would be up some mad percentage. Yeah, but that short, I closed it already. I had a short from 69, I think, very top. I had a short at around 40k. I had a short here, if I didn't remove the arrow, which I was talking about in one of those videos I have in my beginner playlist, trading for beginners. This is a point where I took my short. This was what, 40, yeah, around 46, 40k. It was, I was explaining why I took this short, because EMAs was crossing, stochastics, MACD. I was explaining it. The video explains on how I look at the chart and take my shorts. I need to say this, that yesterday, or was it before yesterday, when we had the crazy move over here. Let me switch this off. Over here, 26. Where's the 26? Somewhere here. On this day, I took 4 trades, I think, 4 or 5 trades, and I was able, I took longs, I took shorts. I think I took 3 to 5 trades, I'm not sure. And I literally tripled my account, double or tripled my account. They were very good trades. Very good trades. Not very big positions. Slightly high leverage. But with risk management, I had my stop losses. And I did it. I think I took the long from 27.5, I think. And I rode it all the way up. I shorted at 29.9, I think. And I rode it down. My long that I had unfortunately got stopped in very small profit because I was greedy. I wanted to see how far would it pump because I expected the moon. I rode my short, I opened another long and went up. Yesterday I opened another short, but I think it may get stopped out today because price doesn't look like it's breaking down. If price isn't doing what you think it's going to do, then most probably it's going to do the opposite. So I've been expecting that we're gonna dump since yesterday, and it hasn't. Some traders will tell you, rule of thumb, if you open a trade and in 2 hours it does not move in your direction, that's it. You close your trade and you leave. The problem with trading is once you open a trade and you wait, and it starts going in your direction, but not good enough. Like you're making $5 and you're not happy with it. You want to make 20, 100, and it's not going your way, but you'll keep waiting because it's still not in the red. It's in the green. It's in the green. It's in the green. Eventually you get into the red. Now let's look back at the news. The news came out. It's pumping. We're getting a pump. This is a pump that could stop me out. Just to be honest, just to keep it clear, and this, I don't win every trade. And actually most traders don't lose more than they win, but you try to minimize your loss. Now let's look at the news for the CAD. The CAD, actual greater than the forecast, is good for currency. Let's see, did it get greater? Come on. We're having a pump now in BTC. What is the dollar doing? Dollar's taking a nosedive. That means the numbers weren't supporting it, but let's look. Why is it taking too long to load? Okay, core PCE actual is as forecasted. So it should be good for the currency, not greater, but as actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So this should be good for the currency. Personal income month on month is higher. Good for currency. Lower Not good for currency. Personal spending. People are spending less money. CAD got bad news for the CAD, so it's good for the dollar. So dollar essentially should go up. But why is the dollar? Okay, maybe that's a pump within the news. Then the dump, then we pump. Let's see what will happen now. The dollar might do a crazy move now. Let's see. News came out 3 minutes ago. What's going to happen now? Are we going to dump or are we going to pump? Five-minute 50 EME for the dollar. It's holding. Bitcoin is below the 50. Look at that, what Bitcoin did. I think it stopped my trade out. Let me check it out. Just spiked all the way to my stop loss. Oh no, my stop loss wasn't there. My stop loss is a bit higher. Okay, great. Okay. This was a crazy spike. It reminds me of what happened. We had this a few days ago, right? Yesterday or the day before, we had a spike up, spike down on the daily candle, and the daily candle looked absolutely ridiculous, Jafar. We had, where's that daily candle? This daily candle, look at that. Spike up, spike down. Now we did that on the 5-minute chart. That was a $200 candle, such an expensive candle. Are you in any trades, Jafar, or you're just on the sidelines for the time being? Look at the DXY. Ouch, ouch, ouch. 101.7, 101.4, so 0.3 cents up, a move of 0.3 cents up and down. Come on, dollar, please. Let my shorts get into profit. Oh man, we're gonna pump. We're gonna recover this whole wick. The news is out. It's supposedly good for the dollar, but why are we not pumping like crazy? Okay, dollar's pumping, Bitcoin is pumping. That doesn't make sense. Nasdaq, ooh, look at that. 13,140 and 1390. That's a $140 candle. Look at that. What is the Nasdaq doing? No trades, okay. Sometimes no trade is a good trade. Believe me. If you're not feeling it, it's not worth taking it. Look at that. Look what the S&P 500 did. The Dow Jones, sorry. 33741. 33. That's $100 on this asset. That's crazy. Look at that candle. Looks very weird. You'd expect the wick to be to the upside. How did this happen? Okay. ES Mini. S&P 500 mini futures. Yeah, Bitcoin is gonna pump all the way up. See, like this move, you see this? You could take the trade from here and say we're gonna most probably recover the wick on this small time frame. So you take it and go. And you test it. If it doesn't make it, you tried. But you know you have liquidity immediately there. It was a fast move. And you know that it could go to recover that. 1 minute we are above the 50 EMA. Stopping volume candle over here with a wick to the upside. Let's see the 5 minute. 5 minutes. We're going for that wick possibly. And then maybe we'll rotate to the downside. But we have a nice double bottom on this trend line on the 5 minute. This descending trend line of resistance turned into support. This from the 31K zone. And now we might be in another triangle. Triangle after triangle after triangle. Descending trend line, triangle, whatever it is. That's all I see in charts nowadays. Ethereum, same kind of move. Solana, same kind of spike up, spike down. Algo, I have two charts of Algo. Algo, USDT perpetual. Why do I have it twice on my... I can get rid of this. What is BTC dominance doing? BTC dominance is at its highs. Now, I want to look at some indicator on the monthly. Bollinger Bands, Bitcoin monthly. Bitstamp. Monthly time frame. We need to break that $32 zone. Because Bitcoin, the last 2 times that it's ever done this on a monthly, be below the mid of the Bollinger Band. Here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 candles, and we broke out on our 7th. Over here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14th candle we broke out. So 13 to 14 months under this mid of the Bollinger Band. So far, we won't count this, we'll count the open and close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. So in 1 to 2 months, we need to break this within 1 to 2 months to let history repeat itself. And after we broke that previously, you can see over here, we were in a bull run. And if you look over here, we were in a bull run. So we need to break 32.2 on the monthly and open a candle above and start closing above. Once we do that, you could say, yeah, we are possibly in a bull run. How high? I don't know. We might come up and form shoulder, head, and shoulder that we had here. We make it a head, shoulder, head, and even a bigger shoulder. We don't know. Anyways, so that's for that. Another thing that is so important, Bollinger Band on the monthly. I want to look at the line break chart on the weekly. So on the weekly, whenever we have the line break chart turn green, as we did over here, we start our bull run. Like here, bull run. Over here, bull run. So you see, when it turns green, it usually continues green on the weekly. But we do have some interruptions of red sometimes. But when it turns green, you would have a follow through. So over here, this was an indication that you're going to have a follow through to the upside. And that's what happened. Line break chart on the weekly. Now we've turned red over here, but it might continue higher. We are on the we are getting support on my Fibonacci lines, Fibonacci channels, as you can see. Came down, bounced off, rejected, came down, bounced off, and now even if we go up, we would have resistance again over here. 30,141. Our support would be down here. 27,600. ETH is worth a short now. ETH. Sorry, just saw your message now, bro. ETH. I'm not sure about ETH. I would wait for ETH to get above I mean, over here was a short. Now you are kind of chasing it. And if you look at the 4 hour, you are above the 50 EMA. 5 and 13 are trying to cross. The 5 has crossed, 13 is trying. 1 hour, you haven't lost the 50 yet, and you're getting a green candle here, so maybe not a good time to short. Maybe after you reclaim yesterday's high, you recover this, then you would expect a possible pullback. However, on the 15 minute, you are below the 50, so it depends what time frame you're trading. 15 minute, you are below the 50 EMA, but you're not breaking down. See, you came all the way, you held, and you came back immediately. You could try a short with a stop loss above 1909 or above the previous high 1912, but that's a bit risky, not financial advice. You see this kind of thing that happens when news comes out. I would wait for ETH to get higher. If it will get higher, I will take. I'm not saying that I will. I mean, it would be a higher probable trade for Ethereum. Now I want to put a fixed range volume profile to find something for you on Ethereum. Yeah, for this entire range, we are bumping at the value area high. So I would consider a short if I was willing to trade this at around 1923. That would have been a good entry. Stops above it. And I would be looking at coming down to the value area high of this smaller range, or even the POC. This smaller range value area high is at 1653. That's a long way down. On the daily, the downtrend for ETH is not exhausted yet. On the weekly, you have an opposite story. Uptrend, not exhausted yet. On the 15 minute, your downtrend is getting slightly exhausted. On the hourly, no exhaustion. 4 hourly, no exhaustion. Daily, no exhaustion. So on the weekly, you're still green, your trend is green, but on the daily, and below, your trend is still red for Ethereum. Now if you go to Bitcoin and try to see that, Bitcoin's uptrend is getting exhausted on the it's getting exhausted on the weekly, the uptrend. Daily is still okay, downtrend is okay. 4 hourly, downtrend not exhausted. 1 hourly, downtrend is slightly getting exhausted on the 1 hour for Bitcoin. 15 minutes, same thing, you're getting slightly exhausted on the downtrend for Bitcoin. So downtrend for Bitcoin is slightly getting exhausted on the 15 minute and the hourly, but doesn't mean it's gonna pump. As long as we cannot go above this level, 29,780 or 29,800, then you have no reason to think that we're not going to come to 28,800. Highly probable. But if you're going to look at it from pure TA, I'm going to show you that this is what majority of people are looking at. We had some sort of a flag or pennant, broke out, measured move is 30,153. Now we're forming some sort of a descending triangle or some sort of a wedge. Breakout was here. Target is 30,000. So there you have your confluence, 30,000 and 30,153, just above the POC, wick above it and come down. Very possible. So that's your targets. That's what retail, majority of people are looking at it. Like this, over here, they would call it some sort of a bull flag, breakout, bull flag. Look what happened. Tanked down, unpredictable. You can't control these markets. Now, what is Bitcoin doing? Still pulling down. And rejection, indecision candle or whatever. And now it's gonna it might get much volatile. Let's go back to the dollar. It might be pumping. Dollar's trying to recover to the upside. Yeah. Litecoin is another coin that I look at, and I have a lot of TA on Litecoin, and levels have been respected. If you watched my videos, you would just play it out so simply on Litecoin. Look at this. These levels are very old. Let's go on the daily so you can see how old they are. These levels are old. I would say somewhere in here. November maybe. November levels. Yeah, I would expect December, November. You would know that you have 85 to 95 and you have this zone over here. 73.3, 85.01 or 85 and 94.83. You'd just be playing these zones. If you're here, you would long it. You don't have to long it to 95. You could take profit, but you see it comes higher. It came up to 105. 105. What do we have over there? We have another zone of resistance. I didn't draw the line, but this would be a good zone to keep an eye out for a possible rejection. There you go. And you could even push it up to not make your chart messy, or you could mark it according to these tops over here, or even like that, and not include the full wick because it was an abnormality, liquidity grab. And if you want to find other confluence, you could go and find the NPOC, naked point of control of this chart. Most of them are down, untapped. To the upside, do I have anything untapped? Let's zoom out. Nothing. Bitcoin, NPOC, we have an NPOC here, the value area high, I believe. 30,699. Where is it? Something is missing. 4 hourly maybe. Yeah, there you go. On the 4 hourly, you can see we have an NPOC up here. 30,721. 33,346. So 30,721 would be an interesting zone. To be crazy if we pump there today. Yeah, Litecoin. So Litecoin, when you see these kind of moves, you'd expect an impulse, but then when you start getting this kind, look at that, pump up, pump down. It's literally what Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything did yesterday or before yesterday. We had a pump up, pump down. We have a pump up, pump down. Then it had a continuation. So you start seeing Litecoin doing this. This could be a fractal. Look at that. Pump up, pump down. Let me do this. There you go. Doesn't fit perfectly, but yeah. Say we do this, and Litecoin comes up. We already do one top. We'll come down and hold, do another top, and come all the way up here. 114. We could do that. Let's look at Bitcoin and Quant. Quant. Bitcoin. I'm going to delete everything now. Now let's look at Bitcoin's price action and try to see if there's any similarities. Sometimes you go to a smaller time frame and you see a pattern that looks similar to Bitcoin's action on a bigger time frame. This over here, this move was a move that Bitcoin did in September 2022. We don't even have to go back that far. We've done it here, similar move, but not as sharp as this. So if you go back to September, somewhere here. This was El Salvador adoption of Bitcoin over here, right over here. It's not the same, but we had a dump. It's not the same. See, when we have these moves up and then spike down, move up, spike down, move up, spike down, move up, spike down, and then go lower. Is it an indication that Bitcoin is trying to do that now? Spike up, move down, and then go lower? Are we doing that now? We went up and we came down. Is that telling us that Bitcoin is preparing to move lower? This tells me one thing, that there was a lot of orders, sell orders, heavy orders that pushed it down. It didn't just go just randomly. There are people pressing the sell button. People are selling over here. So that's what it tells me. If you haven't already and you like the stream, please hit the likes, subscribe to the channel, and join the free Discord, where we have some interesting things happening there sometimes.
know I'll live high. It's a river's fight without an alibi. Took my hands without an alibi. you know? Don't you know? I'm living in shadow. Don't you know? Don't you know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Oh, they say fools believe in it, so I guess I'm one of them. Oh, don't you know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fools gold. I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What's up? Welcome to the stream.
Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach.
Bitcoin looks like it wants to continue low for the day. Nasdaq, the US 100, is doing the opposite. The strange thing is Bitcoin's not following what the Nasdaq is doing, but the Bitcoin's always late to move. Dow Jones, same thing, is going parabolic, crazy. Of course, this is when markets open, so until the market settles and absorbs all the news, then we might get the real move. S&P 500 mini futures, same thing. The numbers that came out today, we had the numbers of the core PCE and employment cost and the Chicago PMI. All these numbers came out bullish for the dollar, but for some reason the dollar for the time being isn't moving higher. The dollar looks like it wants to dump, but this is the market open, so sometimes in the market open you get a move, then the real move comes after the market settles. That's in about an hour. Ethereum, it needs to hold yesterday's low, 1858. It looks like it's going for it. Will it hold? Solana, yesterday's low is around 21.151. Our measured move for the breakdown on Bitcoin could take us down to the 800 EMA on the 15 minute. Could go to 28,579 if we get there, unless we catch a bounce now, but we've broken down from the 50, we've broken down from the 200. That means on the 1 hour we broke down the 50 already. That's not good. Looks like a controlled move. You see a move down, retrace, move down, retrace, move down. I had this triangle expecting it to break to the upside, but remember in triangles a lot of times we have a fake out. So we had this triangle initially yesterday, this pennant. It broke to the upside and we're coming down. Over here I expected it again to break to the upside, but we broke down. Since we got rejected from the POC, I was saying that we could come to the value area low. So keep an eye on the value area low. It's very possible we come all the way down here, 28,794, even this value area high of the previous range, this zone, 28,644. But on the 15-minute, next candle is green, but it's quite weak. 4 minutes to the close of this candle. Not looking very promising, but we still have a bit more time. Let's see what happens. As I always tell you, fast move down, we would get a move up that would come at least halfway through 29,100. Or even recover and continue higher. No one knows, but I'm just telling you, these fast moves are usually recovered, especially on lower time frames. So far, we're almost recovering half of it with this candle. We're below the daily open, so nothing bullish today. We're below the daily open, below the 50. 4 hourly, we're just at the 50, probably testing it. We're getting there. But 1 hourly, let's look at our EMAs. Our EMAs have crossed bearishly, and looks like we might have that continuation. But as I said, the market's just opened, so it might be a fake move. But let's look. Measured move for this can take us to 28,579. 1 hour time frame should be interesting. See that move? We want to recover this zone. We could come up and recover it very fast. But if in the 1 minute time frame you can't get over the 50 EMA cloud, then it's telling you have more downside. 1 minute or even 5 minute time frame. 5 minute time frame, you need to get above the 50. We're holding the 800 EMA, so that's good news. If we come up to this zone, 2979, 29,079, and can't get above it, then that's telling us we're going further down. 2978, 29,078.6. That's the 200 EMA on the 15 minute. We broke below it. We did over here, and we went lower, then we recovered. So it's telling you that this candle is at this point we are below the 200 last 200 candles average exponential moving average trend. So it's calculated in some way on the moving on the last 200 candles, and it's telling you you're shifting trend. So you are below trend. You decided to change the trend from the last 200 candles. So that's significant when you look at that. Now I was looking for a long at 29.1, and now we're right over there. Entered the long, got stopped out very quick at 28.90. I entered 28.950. I got stopped out. Now, where did we come to? We came into the point 382, 28.871, and the low of that candle was 28.870. So very close. We touched it. Actually, we touched it. Not very close. We went $1 below it, or a few cents below it, and we caught a bounce. So if we are gonna assume that we are gonna go up, it's very nice. We came to 28.871, somewhere close to the 0.786 retracement of this move from down here all the way to up there. From this low to that high, we retrace at 0.786. That's acceptable for wave 2, so you could assume you're having a 1-2 and you're going to continue higher. I'm always trying to look at the bullish and the bearish outlook, so that's the bullish outlook. But frankly speaking, yeah, I see us, we could go up, but overall, I've been saying it for a long time that I feel there is one more low. Not I feel, I mean I see there might be another low. There is still the potential of another low. I'm not going to exclude 20k. I'm not going to dismiss 20k. We still have a value area gap at 20k. We could come down and fill it. There, we have our gap. BTC dominance is approaching that line, that resistance. If we get there and get rejected, that would be big. We could start turning out now, turning down. It's very possible. Form a double top and come down. The markets are pumping. Bitcoin usually follows the markets, and Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Nasdaq well is not as much as the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. They are pumping like crazy. Look at that. Possibly going for yesterday's highs. The S&P 500. Dow Jones took out yesterday's highs. Nasdaq and S&P 500 might be going for that. DXY is above yesterday's highs. Might go for last week's high, and that will push the market slightly lower. Okay, we had the 15-minute candle close. This is our next 15-minute. Let's see our hourly. How does it look? This is our new hourly candle. New York session is at full swing now. Remember, we had this push down. We had moves that looked like it's gonna go all the way up, but we covered only 50% and we continued lower. So just be careful. Nothing is as it seems in trading. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, if you liked the stream, hit the likes. If you didn't already, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to so you don't miss out, and join the free Discord. And if you really like to, there's a link in the channel description and in the video description where you could support the channel by clicking that link. More trades, I'm out.